Good evening. My name is Lisa Charleyboy, and I am Tsilhqot'in from the interior of British Columbia, and I'm the daughter of late Chief Jerry Charleyboy and Leona Charleyboy. I am so pleased to be here tonight to share some stories with you. I want you to think, though, right now, so I hope everyone can just take a moment and think back to when you were a child or a teenager, if you want, and think of what the biggest issue that you dealt with. So I'm going to give you a pause for about 7 seconds here to figure out what that is and when it is. Okay? I didn't actually count, that was 7, but it seemed like it. So I hope you can hold on to that issue. I know for me, when I was a teenager, I was super obsessed with fashion, and I spent an inordinate amount of time trying to figure out what I was going to wear to school and what kind of malls I was going to go to. And that seemed like a really big issue to me. But if I really get honest, I also dealt with anxiety and depression. I had a really strange upbringing where I just grew up really fast. I started to get in line with the wrong kind of people and was around drugs and alcohol a lot. And I almost went down this really dark path. I've spent a little bit of time here, but I had a mom who loved and supported me, and she did not let me go down that path. She supported me, she followed me, she wanted to make sure that I was safe and that I didn't end up a statistic. My mom said to me, okay, I want you to graduate from high school. What is the biggest incentive that I can give to my daughter to get her to graduate from high school? So she says, when you graduate, you can have any single dress that you want for your prom. Anything. I was about 14 and a half, and I started planning. So that was my turning point. I started to get away from the friends that I was hanging out with, and I started to buckle down, get good grades for university, and really have a path set forward of what I was going to do and where I was going to go. My mom supported me throughout my educational path, and it was amazing because I was able to go not only graduate high school, but also go and get my bachelor's degree at York University. And yesterday, I was just at convocation at SFU for my MBA. But the day before that, I was in my traditional territory, and we were having community governance circles, so basically the community coming together to figure out how we're going to do the self-government. As Tsilhqot'in people, we do have land title. We got some land back, just a little bit, setting precedent. So I went to the governance circle, and we all sat around and shared our stories about what we wanted and what our vision for the future was. And an elder was speaking, and he said, he went through residential school, and he's like, I had to go through a lot, and I'm still going through this healing process, and that's going to keep going on and on. But never mind about that. There are kids on my reserve who have to just struggle to survive, and their dreams just die. I almost burst out crying at that moment. It was so intense for me to think about that and how little hope there was, and there still is, and how much farther we have to go. So I need to think back to that one problem, that one big issue that you thought that you had when you were a teenager or when you were a child. And then try to put yourself in the shoes of the young children that live on the reserve. 60% of children living on reserves live in poverty. That number goes to 76% in Manitoba, the province I currently live in. Now, if I let my dreams die, I never would have graduated high school. I wouldn't be standing in front of you now. When I think of the future, I stand by that elder. I want a brighter future for our children. Those little kids running around the res, I want them to dream, not only dream, but dream big. And I want them to flourish. When I think about reconciliation, I feel like I have a very different perspective on it. We all know about the Truth and Reconciliation report and the 94 calls to action. I want to see how many people have actually read it. And it's not a shaming thing, I'm just actually wanted to know. Well, we got a good group here. There's more hands than I thought. It's fantastic that you did. Thank you for taking that time. But a lot of people haven't, because it almost seems like a huge task. Oh, I got to go find it on the internet, print it out. We all have busy lives. So there's other ways that you can move forward in acts of reconciliation. And it really depends where you are on sort of that spectrum. For a lot of people, I lived in Toronto for over 10 years. A lot of people told me that I was the first Indigenous person that they'd ever met, which to me is insane because Toronto is actually the highest population for Indigenous people. So there's other ways that we can kind of move towards this path of reconciliation. I love art, clearly. I love fashion. So I would ask you to maybe consider just engaging in art if you don't have that much of engagement. There's a movie that I fell in love with called Tsilhqot'in by Métis filmmaker Shane Belcourt. It's absolutely beautiful and about your great city. And Bone Marrow Thieves was just released by Cherie Dimelin, and it won the 2017 Governor General's Award. How many have read that? Okay, we got 4. This is an amazing book. It has 90% approval rating on Goodreads. But if you're further along that sort of Indigenous continuum, maybe you want to volunteer for an Indigenous organization. Or if you don't have the time, maybe you want to support organizations like Inspire that help put the dreams back into our youth. They do a lot of great work with education. This is the first time I've done this, so sorry, bear with me. So when I reflect back to just 2 days ago, when I was in the interior of BC, a huge long fight, 5 hours to Vancouver, 1 hour north, 1 hour drive. And I think about that gut feeling that I had when the elder said that right now kids are trying so hard just to survive that their dreams die. And it resonates so strongly with me. And I think we know where we've been in Canada. And I want to look forward to our collective future in Canada to make it a country where every child is afforded the opportunity to dream. Satchinalya, thank you.